Sports in green. Can't miss it. Sign up when you deposit. You'll be eligible for up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Those YSRPs, as good as cash to be used on the site to play and win real money. $30 or $30K NBA baller today, $150,000 NFL baller coming up this Sunday. What are you waiting for, friends? Competition's less stiff. The water's warm. Dive in. We'll see you over there. Use the sign-up code AWESOMO when you do. Get up to $30 in YSRPs and become a baller today. How we doing, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've done nothing but look at this slate all day, essentially since the time that you and I got off the show. Did some office hours, really dug into some of these guys, took a lap through the entire slate again at like 3:30. Feel pretty good, so all the news should come trickling in like 45 minutes and throw everything out in the garbage.
Pretty much. And I personally hope you do well today, because there is no shittier feeling than spending the entire day on a slate and then having terrible results.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. It worked out well for me on Friday. I spent the entire day looking at the slate, and I had a good day. So that worked out really well. Let's hope that I can maintain that good luck. Let's hope we all can.
Let's hope we all can, including you. Happy to have everyone with us. As always, we got a good group of people, a good group of fellas. Well, probably some ladies too, hanging out, watching each and every week, and they'll stick around after the stream for Live Before Lock. Are you running back-to-backs here?
Oh, I am. All
right. Josh Ingham and Chris Spags taking you up till lock.
Gonna be a good
7
one.
p.m. Let's kick it off, man. We got 7 to talk about. We'll dive into it with Detroit and Washington. I mean, you said it. The news that we're waiting on here is huge. It's the biggest news of the day, and until we get that, we're not going to really have much to discuss here. But what we will do is give alternatives in the event that Drummond and Blake are in and or are out, and talk about whether or not we're playing them if they're in, because both of them are questionable. Andre Drummond with a bad avocado reaction. Sure, fella. Get that wink in there. No chance. Blake Griffin with the knee, the bruised up or sore knee. I don't know if he plays, Josh, but he's $5,900 on DraftKings. He's played like garbage lately. I mean, I'm not exaggerating here. He's been outright terrible. 4 for like 34 over his last 3 games. 1 from 16 from 3-point range. He has an 11 fantasy point game in 34 minutes, a 21 and 30, and then 7 in 15. Those are some miserable performances. I don't know how much has to do with the knee, but if he plays today, it's still going to be tough to ignore him against the Wizards in the highest projected total of the day.
I hope it has something to do with the knee, because if it doesn't, his career is like done, right? If he's just bad.
If he's that bad, yeah, we've got problems for sure.
He's going to be out in a minute. So it's interesting because this is kind of the tale of like multiple questions. If Blake Griffin plays, you just play him on DraftKings, and I think probably a decent amount as well. He's very clearly the best Piston. He just shouldn't be 5,900. I understand why he is. He's been bad lately. There's still some talent in there somehow. And at 5,900, yeah, right. And at 5,900, you're really not putting yourself at risk all that much. It's not as if this is Blake of a year ago and he's 8K while you got to do this. He's cheap. If Drummond is in, he's probably the best center play on FanDuel and DK, depending on how you feel about Hassan Whiteside. And Washington is essentially playing half of the center position today. It's however many minutes Jan Mahinmi plays, and then they're going to hope that whoever else is playing center can slow down Andre Drummond. Good luck with that. So I love Drummond if he is in. I love Blake on DraftKings if he is in. I don't really love the $7,200 price tag on FanDuel, but you can tolerate it. And then I love Derrick Rose on FanDuel at $5,700. He's $400 cheaper than he is on DK. And I just think that that's like the perfect value play. If those guys happen to be out, all hell breaks loose.
It changes everything. And hopefully we get that news soon. I think we'll get it relatively soon. At least it is the 7 p.m. game. It's the only 7 p.m. game on this slate. And by the way, pardon me, I was wrong. Second highest total on the slate behind Rockets and Spurs. but the Pistons have a set 117.8 total. I mean, that's really high for this Detroit team. I'm with you here. Andre Drummond, in the event that he plays, I don't know how you don't like him against this banged up, depleted Washington front court. That, the best option they have is running Jan Mahimi out for extended minutes, and that's like the worst possible option on any other team. So it's going to be hard to get away from him. It's not like he's dealing with an illness, right? It's not like he's dehydrated or has gastroenteritis, Josh. He's just, ate a bad avocado. That's what they say.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, honestly.
I've never eaten a good avocado, but that's probably not. This isn't the show for that.
What the That's good. That's good. Oh, took me a second. I got you.
Yeah.
I was going to say I actually am allergic to avocado, but now I can't say that because it makes me sound pretty bad.
I am allergic to avocado. True story.
Well, I'm allergic to real avocados.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But I've never had eye swelling from it.
Now, my throat gets really scratchy. It feels like my teeth are itching. It's awful.
Real itchy, and then I get a little bit of nausea too.
Yeah. I get
it's not fun.
If it shows up in a taco, it's like, okay, whatever. But then it's just not appealing for me. So I avoid it as much as I can.
I had a bad reaction to one. No, it was not in Mexico City. I was in Huntington Beach, California for a hockey tournament, and they put avocado, as I found out, on everything. So I got a burger, and it was like more avocado than burger. And needless to say, it wasn't very enjoyable. But I digress. Andre Drummond against his front court. You're right. You and I had this discussion on the strategy show today. Like if it's not Mahimi, it's Rui Hachimura.
Yep.
And how in the world, or Admiral Schofield, who is not a center.
No, he's not. He is not. You can barely call him a power forward.
Exactly. So it's just a premier spot. It would also be a good spot for Blake, though.
YouTube chat has been roasting me for not having a hat on right now, and I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but the most recent one that I just saw was oh my god, I lost it. Laffy looks like he's Josh's bully. Oh man. I gotta keep wearing hats, man.
Who said that?
Let me see where it went.
That might be a top 5 YouTube quote ever.
Nelson Mateus. So thank you, Nelson, for that. I mean, Josh looks like a Hey Arnold character. I've been getting it for like 10 straight minutes. Josh looks like a Peaky Blinder. Josh has a teenage.
Well, that's a compliment.
Josh has a teenage Superman look. I'll take that one. Josh looks like the kid who claims he's the best hugger in the school. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Josh looks like he collects license plates. Josh looks like the rich kid in the movies whose dad wants to shut down the rec center.
Yeah. What? He looks like the rich kid in the movie. They got any more?
They're not really stopping. So you might want to pull up chat.
Yeah, I thought the ones were bad when I didn't wear a hat.
Yeah, they're coming pretty hard.
Dude, that's the hardest I've laughed in a very long time. So I thought about this, right? I was thinking about this the other day, that we should do top YouTube comments of the week and give out some free subs at the end of the week.
We are opening ourselves up to a really big disaster there.
That's the problem. Now, I think what I'll just do is, so it doesn't incentivize people to just say stupid shit, would just be to, like, if we see something that's hilarious, might be worth saying, hey, you know what? You get a free week. But we'll see. We'll see.
Chat is moving too fast now to keep up.
Those are some of the greatest comments I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, Josh looks like he's ready for picture day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I appreciate it. It's fantastic.
Taylor says Laffy weak. Yo, I'm telling you, that killed me right there. That oh man. So did one say Josh looks like he licks license plates?
Collects license plates.
Oh, that's even
It's amazing.
Josh looks like he's been gluten free since birth.
Oh, come on. Millhouse? You're killing me, Cantor.
Josh looks like the kid who tells everyone to go to sleep at sleepover or to go to bed at sleepovers.
I did do that.
Oh man, dope heathen. Laffy's high as a kite. People always say that. I'm not at all. Like I'm
you guys
not.
Are getting the wrong host. Not that I am right now. I never am on shows ever. But yeah, you got the wrong host.
John Mann says we love you though. These are all good. Hey, just one more. One more and we'll move on. Josh looks like an adult Mighty Duck.
Yeah, I'm cake eater. I'm Adam Banks' dad.
Oh man. These were good. These were good. Wow.
Kudos.
All right. Now everyone's trying to get in on the game, right?
Yeah.
Like now everyone wants to get in on it. But I don't know if you can get better than that. So let's move on. If I see any,
Josh looks like he has a high credit score. Yeah, woo, got it.
Yeah, that could be worse.
Super true.
Could be worse.
That's the best I'll do.
Josh, this is good. Josh looks like the kid that would buy a gram for $50.
Surge pricing.
Oh, that's so good.
Thanks, guys.
And then not get anything.
Yeah, it's oregano.
Oh, God. All right. So we're halfway through game one.
Yes. Yeah, we made it. It was 14 minutes in. Look, there's only 6 more. We're fine.
Right. What's up with what? This is going to be tough to get back on track. I'm telling you right now.
Real bad.
Washington, though, we're all going to lose tonight.
Look, let's sum up what happens if Drummond or Blake or both are out.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to throw it to you, but very simply, if both of them are out, your main hub for value on the slate comes from the Detroit frontcourt.
Yes. You're playing Christian Wood as much as you'd like. You're playing Markieff Morris probably as much as you would like. You got to figure Bruce Brown probably gets a little bit of additional run since he's like positionally diverse. FanDuel probably ends up looking like the better spot. Svi probably picks up enough minutes to be viable, $100 north of the minimum. But Christian Wood and Markieff Morris would be the two. And then Thon Maker will also get enough run to be viable.
Okay. And that would be, so how about so let's do this. If just Griffin is out, how many minutes you giving Markieff Morris?
When's the last time Blake missed?
He missed, I think he played the first game and then he played the first game. Well, his first game back. I mean, I'm going to go to his game log right now.
He missed on November 23rd. He was out. Tony Snell was also out, but Markieff Morris played 34 minutes that day.
Right.
So I don't know, 30, probably 28, something in that neighborhood.
Well, hold on. He missed the what about the 12th too? The 12th of November. Can you pull that up?
I can. Only reason I didn't say it is because that was before the
mind
23rd.
You, that was his second game. That was only after his first game where he played 24 minutes. So it might not tell us everything we need to know.
I actually don't have it in here anymore because it's outside of 30 days.
All right. I got it. What did I say? The 12th, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got it right here. So it was a 117-108 loss to Miami. Markieff Morris played 21. Huh. Okay.
Who got the minutes?
Only 21 minutes. Snell played 24. Mikhailuk played 6. Thon Maker played 20. Christian Wood played 26.
Okay. Either way, you're playing Markieff Morris.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to have a hard time not projecting him for, let's say, 24 minutes. as the lowest possible number, you're still getting him as a really nice value play at 200 above the minimum on FanDuel and 3,900 on DK.
Yep. I mean, Christian Wood, though, just from on a per minute basis, is such a stud.
Yeah. It's not going to take much to get him in play. If Drummond is out, just feel free to put Christian Wood in like everything you do.
Like he was talking about weed, Maharishi. I don't think he was talking about powder, fella.
No.
No. So Christian Wood, though, if Griffin's out, would you still consider Christian Wood? Like, if Christian Wood got 22 minutes, could it be worth it to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because there's also the scenario that, like, that's one of those spots where, look, Christian Wood's probably going to play like 16 minutes. He's going to put up like 18 to 20 fantasy points. But if anything happens to Drummond in that scenario, any foul trouble, Christian Wood is the guaranteed benefactor of that time. He's only going to see more time. It's basically impossible for him to see less, barring injury or foul trouble himself. So I would have no problem getting to some Christian Wood if it's just Blake that's out. He's not like the direct beneficiary there, but there's not a lot of downside.
For sure. Josh Them, thanks for the super chat, brother. We appreciate you. I think there was another one in there that I missed. Yeah, Frank Bishop. Appreciate you, Frank. Both of you guys. Okay, so Blake Griffin is out. There we go.
Good.
And I mean, we pretty much just broke it all down. I
love, one thing, I'm now getting roasted on our Twitter. That's been pulled out, and that's going now. The love child of Pete Holmes and Miles Teller, I will take. The forgotten Jonas brother, I will take.
The Pete Holmes reference, that is a good reference.
I like it.
Did you watch that show?
I did.
Crashing?
Yes, I did.
Very good.
Very good.
I'm a big Artie Lang fan.
You and me both. Have you read his books? We don't have time for this right now.
Too Fat to Fish? Yeah.
He has a few of them. Too Fat to Fish was the...
Artie Lang's Halfway House, new podcast just came out. It's pretty excellent.
Yeah,
so.
he looks really crazy because he's sober now.
Oh, he looks terrible. Terrible.
Right. So Blake is out. Let's do this now. Let's walk through it because I know we have two games that are coming up that we're not going to care about. So.
Correct.
I can't see a scenario where Markieff Morris, like you project Markieff Morris for less than 26 minutes. I assume the Christian Wood gets a couple minutes alongside of Andre Drummond. That's not crazy, right? They've done it before.
I don't think it's crazy at all. As a matter of fact, on the 12th, Christian Wood and Andre Drummond played a lot of minutes together.
Right.
I mean, in the first half alone, right? They played 10 minutes alongside each other in the first half of that game. So it's definitely doable.
Okay. So I'm going to give them even more than that then. Also, shout out to the Pistons for getting that out right now. I'm going to give Christian Wood 22 minutes because I feel like if I give him anything more, it's going to go absolutely bonkers.
He'll be in every lineup. If you gave Christian Wood like 25 minutes, you're getting him, all of him.
I gave him 22, and he is now a better value than Jalen Brunson on FanDuel, if you're curious.
Is he really?
For me, yeah. And then Thon maybe 16. That gives me 240.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. And 26 for Morris, you said?
Yeah. Morris quite the value as well now.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I don't have an issue with that. You start going too high on any of them, and it's just going to get out of control anyway.
Right. And again, like Christian Wood is a $3,800 power forward on FanDuel. Doesn't really matter what I project him at.
Right.
He's just going to be awesome regardless.
And we've seen Dwayne Casey do a lot of different things with this front court. So like I said, I wouldn't go crazy. But also, let's keep in mind, they're facing the Washington Wizards. Like 22, even if Markieff Morris only played 24, that's not what you're looking for. But they can still very much salvage against a Washington team that's this bad. It's a skeleton crew Washington team right now. So we got to flip over to the Wizards side of this.
Let's do it.
What are you thinking? I know you said that if Drummond plays, Jan Mahimi should be forced by Scott Brooks into getting additional minutes. I think that's I think that's reasonable. If Drummond's out, I don't even know if they're going to need much Mahinmi. Probably get 20. Here's the thing. Last game, Mahinmi played only 17 minutes. I'm not giving him 17 minutes even if Drummond's out. I'd still give him like 22.
Yep.
But I do think there's a lot of upside for more run in the event that Drummond plays, because you simply can't play Admiral Schofield. You can't play Rui against him. You can if you want to get decimated.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to. It's just going to go really poorly.
They have to.
Yeah.
They literally don't have another backup 5.
I got him in for 24 minutes, and I'm like not all that interested in him.
In Mahinmi, no.
Yeah, the only guy that I'm really truly interested in this game is Troy Brown on FanDuel at 4,800. I even dropped his minutes a little bit. I dropped him from 30 to 29, but that's my spot. Troy Brown will be a guy I'm going to get a lot of. Position has a lot to do with it, and I'll rotate through Beal and Rui to a lesser extent Bertans, just because these guys are going to have to play big minutes. But I don't find the Washington side of this game all that appealing.
I don't either. It's also a significant pace up spot for Detroit, pace down spot for Washington. Mentioned to you this morning, Washington is the best team to play against right now in the league of all 30 teams. They play at the second fastest pace. They have the worst defensive rating according to NBA.com/stats. And they have a top 5 offensive rating, which at least allows them to score enough points to stay competitive. This is the best matchup you can get right now in basketball.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. So
I got nothing else on this one until we know more Drummond news. That's the only piece that's left. I agree. I think we've hit it enough.
I'm assuming Isaiah Thomas plays.
Same.
Okay. So that wipes Ish Smith out. Not that at that price we were in love with him anyway. And I did just want to point out, because I've had a couple questions. Bertans and Rui, my problem here is that at their prices, seeing how much Schofield played last game and that a couple guys got into the rotation that generally aren't in there, I don't want to risk only getting 33 minutes from Rui, because that's not enough at his price point.
No, I have him in for 36 right now, but he is priced like he's been playing this role for a while, so it's really not all that appealing.
Which he kind of has, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, for a
couple weeks now.
Been a bit.
Toronto, Cleveland. Well, the Toronto Raptors, big favorites here, as should be the case. Right now, the total in this game is sitting at 217. They're 12.5-point favorites, 114.8 total for them, 102.3 for the Cavs. Just an atrocious basketball team. I want to start with the Cavs and get it out of the way, Josh. Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty much off of this entire team, whether it's Love, who I can't rely on to get more than 30 minutes, more than one game in a row. Chetty Osman, I don't care how cheap he is right now. Like, he's not getting minutes, and it's not because of foul trouble. Sexton and Clarkson and Garland. I mean, there's just nothing here. I like Larry Nance has been relegated to like 18 to 20 minutes per game. There's nothing I like here.
I agree. There's not a single Cleveland Cavalier that rates even remotely well for me. Tristan Thompson and Colin Sexton getting a little bit of love on DK. I won't have any. I'm not even confident that anyone from Cleveland is in my player pool on FanDuel. Just not interested.
Yeah. I think so. Man, we got some tryhards right now on the Josh jokes, man. I think they missed the bus.
Yeah. They'll be all right. I'm keeping a close eye on the. Can
I give you one that's kind of funny?
I would love it.
Okay, this one's pretty good. Josh looks like the kind of guy who helps his ex-girlfriend move into her new boyfriend's house.
That one stings. I would not do that.
Good.
I wouldn't help people I actually like move.
I think the hair looks fine. I will be honest though. It was a while before I ever even saw you without a hat.
Yeah.
And then I saw it. I was like, oh, I thought your hair looked different than that. But nah, perfectly fine.
Yeah, look, I got
jokes are funny. They're all
out of the shower today and just, didn't feel like putting a hat back on.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. Sometimes I go hatless.
Yeah. I got to let my scalp breathe sometimes,
That's right. I heard you go bald earlier if you wear a hat too much.
That's true.
I don't know. The scalp doesn't breathe.
I don't know. Siakam, anyway, Lowry, and Norm Powell look pretty good.
Yeah, the only concern here is that Cleveland's just really bad.
Yeah.
But Kyle Lowry, $7,700 on DraftKings is ridiculously appealing, even though he hasn't played well. Someone pointed out to me on Twitter when that I had said Marc Gasol had a big game, but he's been bad. And he said that he's had 3 good games in a row. And it was a fair point. But if you go back from the strategy show, you'll notice that I said towards the end of that my biggest concern is his like 10, 11% usage rate. Even in those games, he was shooting 7, 8. He did get up 11 shots against Brooklyn, but that's like high end volume for Marc Gasol right now. I don't know. I just, he's somebody that I don't think I need to get to. Maybe you have a different opinion.
No, same page. I think he's mildly viable for 6K on FanDuel just because of what center looks like. By the way, Andre Drummond available to play. The guy that I like most is Norm Powell.
I hate that they say available to play. Just say he's gonna play or he won't.
I agree. I don't like the new nomenclature. Norm Powell, 5K on FanDuel. I love him there. He's already at 40% ownership, so it's not too surprising. That number will probably come down now that we're opening up a little bit more value. And then Lowry on DraftKings, you mentioned already. That would be the guy that I have my eye on.
Okay.
Siakam just exists. Like, he's going to play 36 minutes. He's good. You get Siakam in your lineup, you're not freaking out trying to change it, but he just exists today.
Yeah, Norman Powell's minutes have been nice recently. Most nights, Nick Nurse is going to go with a pretty condensed bench or rotation altogether. And that's something that definitely makes this team more appealing, because even if some of these guys aren't amazing per minute players, you at least know you're getting, 38, 40 minutes from Kyle Lowry. Now, this game could get out of hand really early, and I think he'd probably still get 33 minutes, which is nice to know.
Yeah, I have no problem getting there.
Milwaukee, Dallas. So Luka Doncic being out. Man, Justine was going to get me tickets to the Sixers Mavs game for the 20th. I was like, hold up.
Yeah,
don't do that yet.
I'm good. Wait till
it would have been awesome.
Wait till the price comes down. Nobody's going to go. Nobody's going to go now.
Exactly. It would have been awesome to go see Luka in person. I mean, that would be incredible. And I plan on doing it, just not this season.
Yeah.
227 total, 118.8 implied for the Bucks, 108.3 for the Mavs. What are we doing here with the Milwaukee Bucks? I know you and I tend to have a different opinion on Giannis. You're looking at it, and rightfully so, more as, well, he just hasn't gotten the minutes that we need. I also see it that way, but I also see it as, if he does get those minutes at the price he's at right now, he's going to smash it against Dallas. So it's kind of a tough spot, but I think it also depends on if we get any more value throughout the night. Eric Bledsoe's out for this game as well. We saw DiVincenzo start at the point guard position. Probably would have played around 28 minutes last game if it wasn't out of control, but they're 10.5-point favorites here. So what's up with the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, sign me up for Giannis at this point. We have enough value now that he's really easy to get to.
Yeah.
He's significantly cheaper on DK than James Harden. So if I'm paying up for anybody on DraftKings, it's Giannis. On FanDuel, I'll probably have like a balance between him and Harden just because of the way the positions work. But I see no reason to not get to Giannis. Even in 30 minutes, I have him projected for 57.5 fantasy points. Like, you're not going to be upset. It's not like he's going to put up 30 and this game's going to still be a blowout. He's going to fill the stat sheet one way or the other. He's putting up 1.9 fantasy points per minute. I have no problem getting there. Cross your fingers. Maybe it'll be close.
If it is, it's going to be a pretty phenomenal game from Giannis. I would hope so, at least.
Only other guy I'm really interested in is DiVincenzo on FanDuel.
So I just mentioned I think he probably gets around 28 minutes today. And if that's the case, I'd be more than okay with it. He did see a decent amount of opportunities as a facilitator last game. I think he had 7 or 8 potential assists. So while anyone's going to just be the de facto point guard, name point guard in name only with Giannis out there, DiVincenzo was more involved, which is good to know at least.
So I only have him in for 24.
Really?
Yeah, and that's mostly just due to my complete fear of them having 800 different people to play today. But he still flies off the page as a value at 4K for me. So it's not, if I give him any more, it becomes really problematic. And I'm not confident in his minutes. He could almost play 28 in the last one and then just play 18 because today's the day that they give Pat Connaughton extra run or something. I just can't. So I can't trust the Bucks.
So do you think he closes the game out? Because if he does, he's going to play more than 24. If that's something you have no idea about, and maybe it's George Hill or Sterling, I mean, it could be anybody, then yeah, I would give him 24, 25.
I would say that it's definitely Giannis, Middleton, and Lopez.
Correct.
I think that I would guess that it would be George Hill as a fourth and then someone as a wing.
Yeah, it might be Hill, DiVincenzo, Middleton, Giannis, Lopez.
I don't know when the last time Wes Matthews is closed. That wouldn't shock me. The thing is now, what you need to close against Dallas is different than it was if Luka was playing.
Yeah, right.
Whereas like that could have been a very different closing lineup. I mean, I assume that Coach Bud is just like, all right, it's going to be U5 today.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
Not really. I don't think it really. It's too hard to predict unless you're trying to pick between DiVincenzo and George Hill. I think those are the only two options that are like relevant for today.
And I don't want them both in the same lineup.
No, neither do I.
The reason for that is they overlapped about 2 minutes. They played about 2 minutes together last game. Maybe they'd close the game out together. It's definitely possible, but we don't know. And in the event that George Hill is just subbing in for DiVincenzo every time, I don't want to run the risk because there's a very good possibility. I'm assuming you have both of them at 24.
I do.
Right. And that would just, that's not good enough. So it's possible they play a few minutes alongside each other, but it's not enough. I don't have an issue with either of them in tournaments. I think low ownership. What do we have at DiVincenzo at right now? Do you know?
Which site?
Both.
DraftKings, nothing. 5% on DK, 16 on FanDuel.
Okay, so definitely a little bit more on FanDuel, but still not ridiculously popular. Anything else for Milwaukee?
No, not at all.
What about the Dallas side? Jalen Brunson gonna probably get 30 plus minutes. You know, with Giannis with Doncic off the floor this year, DeLon Wright's played Jalen Brunson's played 293 minutes, has a 24% usage rate, a 30% assist rate, averaging 1.07 fantasy points per minute. Those are good numbers. Porzingis has only played 129 minutes with Doncic off the floor, but he's averaging 1.52 fantasy points per minute on 33% usage, 19% rebounding. And we talked about it earlier today. The thing about Doncic being off the floor isn't just that he's a good scorer or a good passer or a good rebounder. He leads the team in all of those categories. It's as big a loss as to their team, right? To their team, it's as big a loss as Giannis would be to the Bucks from a fantasy perspective.
100%. He literally does everything when he's out on the floor. So it's
Isaiah Thomas is in, by the way.
Well, that's good to know. That's helpful. So on Dallas, we've already talked about Jalen Brunson as chalk on FanDuel. That number is going to come down pretty not dramatically. He's still going to be in like the 60s or 70s and the most owned guy on the slate. But he's not going to be 93 like we have him projected right now. Yes, 93%. And you should play him. He's incredible chalk and an incredible value. If you're a premium sub, I did a big office hours discussion on him today. You should check that out. On DraftKings for 5,500, I think he's probably going a mildly over-owned 32%. We'll see where that goes. I have a little bit of interest in Kristaps Porzingis on both sites. About 25% owned, and that's where I expect to be. The rest of these guys I'm going to rotate through. Tim Hardaway Jr. and DFS, two most appealing. And then Dwight Powell for 4K on DK. Not interested on FanDuel.
Okay, so your top plays from Dallas on DraftKings.
Top plays for Dallas on DraftKings in order: Dorian Finney-Smith, Kristaps Porzingis, Dwight Powell.
Okay. So no real interest in $5,500 Brunson?
Not at all. I mean, like, if he showed up in like 5 to 10%, I'm okay. The fact that he's getting 32% ownership is really surprising to me.
That's crazy to me. And honestly, I was coming around on Brunson throughout the day, and then I saw that ownership. It's tough. Like, I think he's going to get the minutes for sure.
Yeah.
But I will ask you about this. JJ Barea, maybe he doesn't get off the bench. Maybe he does. How many minutes are you giving Brunson?
28.
Okay. See, that seems more reasonable. I've seen people projecting him for a lot more than that. they do still have a decent amount of guards that can handle the ball, whether it be Brunson or Curry or Wright, Barea. I don't think Brunson at 5,500 is safe.
No,
On
not at all.
On FanDuel, it's a totally different story.
Yeah, on FanDuel, he's 3,700. There is zero downside. And now
Mm-hmm.
I like him even more that there's more value out there.
Okay, so Andre Drummond is now a game time decision. This should happen on Saturday, where he was expected to play and then he was ruled out.
Somebody stick a fucking avocado in his eye? Jesus. What is happening? Oh my god. Okay.
It's bizarre.
Okay, that's going to be a blast. I'm really excited for Live Before Lock now. Really, that 6:45 news is going to be just mwah. Love it. I think that's the second time I've done that too.
It's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way this is an avocado. Okay, dude, remember I just told you I hate the term available to play?
Yeah.
Okay. Andre Drummond available, but uncertain to play Monday. See, they trick you with that. They tell you he's available, but then doesn't play, and he didn't play. They say, why didn't he play? I said he was available. I didn't say he was going to play.
Here's the quote. Casey said Andre Drummond's status remains uncertain. It will depend how he tolerates his contact lenses, still dealing with inflammation. Get my man some Ho Grant rec specs, man. What the hell?
Dude, the rec specs will be solid.
Of course, Grant never had any avocado problems.
You know those huge, senior citizen black glasses?
Yeah, the ones where they look like they're blind, but they're not blind.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly.
I don't think you can play with those.
What?
I don't think it'd be easy to play with those.
Oh, he would smash, dude. Just put a rubber band on the back of him. You'd be in business.
Oh, my God.
Anything else from Dallas?
No, I'm good.
Houston, San Antonio. You got the Houston Rockets, James Harden, ridiculously expensive for good reason. He's a pretty decent basketball player. But this price tag is huge, Josh. And is it possible to get to Harden when the guy's playing like 40 minutes a game? Yeah, it is. But I think the big question here is how much are you going to get to him? He's 12-9 on DraftKings, 12-4 on FanDuel, and $59 on Yahoo.
So on FanDuel, I'm going to get to him a lot. That's just how it works. And now that we've got as much value as we do, it's kind of a no-brainer. Brunson and Markieff and Christian Wood are just going to make this way easier. Keep in mind, Markieff Morris is a small forward on FanDuel. Christian Wood is a power forward.
Right.
Makes things so much easier. So I'm going to get to a bunch of Harden on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I can't imagine I would get to a lot, although just the way that I'm eyeballing it, if we really did have him at 5%, I'm guessing I would be in the 15% range. It's about where I came in like a little over 2x the field on Harden the most recent time that he was like barely owned and then went crazy. But I prefer Giannis. I'd rather have Westbrook. I'd rather have Beal, Drummond, Butler. I don't love Harden at all, but we're talking about a raw point ceiling that's just really only exists for two separate people on this slate.
Right. By the way, I saw someone in chat talking about Pop slowing down Harden. Not happening.
Nope.
And it didn't happen last year either. But they simply do not have the personnel for that at all.
No, they don't.
So, I mean, dude, you look at what he's capable of doing. A bad game is 40 points and 59 fantasy points. It's just a monster ceiling. The floor is outrageous. Basically what you're saying, and I would echo this, is if you're getting to a decent amount of Harden, don't feel like you have to change it.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of cheap options right now. My guess, look, I don't know, but it seems like Drummond's trending towards not playing.
It depends on how he feels when he puts his contacts in, I guess.
Ridiculous. I feel like if your eye was all banged up, it'd be a bad idea to put something inside of it.
I just don't understand why they don't get him glasses to play in. These things exist. Just go to Lens Crafters or wherever. This isn't like a difficult thing. You've known he had to play. You could have crafted these things in a couple days ago. Who cares if you throw them out? They're like $100. What are we doing here?
I don't get it. Hey, if you guys enjoy the show, hit us with a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Helps us keep putting out free content too, and it'll bring you good luck. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you always know when new content's dropping next. So outside of Harden, you've got Westbrook, pretty reasonably priced. And we've recently seen his minutes trend upwards, right? So in close games, instead of playing 33, 34, he's getting 36, 37. Additional 3 minutes for Westbrook is pretty huge. Still a triple-double threat, posted 3 straight a few games back. That's the type of Westbrook I'm looking for. Now, he's even been shooting better lately, Josh. Like, he's getting to the rim and converting those. He's never going to be a good three-point shooter. That's okay. Never was. And his free throw shooting has been pretty abysmal over the past couple of seasons ever since they changed that rule. Yeah, I believe that's what it was, by the way.
Okay.
But anyway, does Westbrook stand out to you as a decent option here against the Spurs in a game that does have the highest total for a team that has the highest implied total of the day?
We have him and Capella projected for around 15% ownership. Seems about right to me. I'd rather have Beal than Russ. I'd rather have Jimmy Butler than Russ. So, 15% seems about right. Again, same as Capella. The guy that I want the most on DraftKings from Houston is probably PJ Tucker at 4,400.
Okay,
it's just easy value to get to. They're all three of those guys are like 15%. Now, I'm not saying that I was going to have like 60% PJ Tucker or anything. He's a 2/3 of a point per minute guy. Not fun to have, but I think that's just more a testament of where I stand on Westbrook and Capella than anything else.
Yeah. Somebody said that Harden likely doesn't get close to 80 because they're getting more bodies back. The thing is, though, those 80-point games came with Westbrook on the floor, and there's nothing that like 5 extra minutes from Austin Rivers or Daniel House is going to do to change that.
No bodies for Houston are taking away minutes from James Harden.
Exactly. Or usage.
No. Got him in for 42% today.
Even with Westbrook in, you're looking at like anywhere between 25 and 35 field goal attempts, depending on how much he gets to the line.
Dude's going to heave.
And again, last time he faced San Antonio, when I tell you this, you're not going to believe me. I'm serious. This is nuts. I know it was an overtime game, sure, but I think it was a double. 38 field goal attempts and 24 free throws.
He shot 50 times.
He was 24 or 24 from the line. Crazy. I know there was overtime, probably 2, but that doesn't even matter. No. Like, that's still nuts.
It all didn't happen in those 5 minutes.
Right. Exactly. I think there were 2, but I don't even care. That's still an egregious amount of opportunities. So Harden is Harden. Anything else for Houston? You mentioned Tucker. I don't think I get to Capella today, although I'm never opposed to 35 minutes of Capella. I think he's okay if he's low owned. On the San Antonio side of this game, though, there's very little I like from this Spurs team.
Yeah, I'm relatively indifferent to everybody. I don't get the sense that I'll have more than like 5% or so of DeRozan or Aldridge. But Alex has Derek White projected as the best value for the Spurs. 27 fantasy points right now. If that's to be believed, he is a fantastic option at DraftKings for 3,700.
Yeah. Him and Bryn Forbes are both really cheap.
Yeah. Bryn Forbes' minutes trending down.
Yeah, they are. And Derek White's have kind of been all over the place. But if you're getting, right, if you get 26, 27 minutes from Derek White, he's not a great per minute guy, but he is cheap enough. Rockets do play at a very elevated pace. So I get it. I don't love him today. But I think a lot of that has to do with this Detroit team, in my opinion, probably being without both of their starting bigs. So we'll see.
Go away, San Antonio.
OKC, Chicago. Before we do, if you use the promo code Deeper Dive, all one word, you get 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus membership. That's how it's done, Josh. First week, baby.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it. You're better at this than I am.
No, you should have. I botched the read so bad the other day that we don't have time for this, but we'll talk. It was one of the worst moments of my life. There's Sunday morning Deeper Dive for NFL. I get into it. It's early in the morning. Usually I'm used to you hosting.
Mm-hmm.
And It was a bad day at Osimo.
Okay.
But it's a week free, or no, okay. That quick, I screwed it up. Half off your first week at Osimo Plus. Just use the sign up code Deeper Dive, and you go to osimo.com/join. Check everything out before you buy. We get promo, or we got videos at the bottom that'll show you exactly what our top tools are, how to use them, what they do. All of our articles, our premium content, like the lineup builder, fantasy cruncher add-on, ownership projections, player projections, top stack tool, and so much more. Use the sign up code Deeper Dive for half off your first week of Osimo Plus membership. All right, we got 3 to go, man. And I don't think you're going to need a whole lot of time for OKC in Chicago.
Nope. Not at all.
Right. So 210 total. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 6-point favorites with a 108 implied for them, 102 for the Bulls. It's a pretty ugly spot. Can you make any argument for can you do any argument or make any argument for like Danilo Gallinari at 5,900 on DraftKings? Or
he's projected for 29% ownership right now.
What? That's insane.
Yeah. I don't have that argument. Oh, we just got a message from Alex. He accidentally typed 32 instead of Derek White's 23 minutes. So he just fixed it. He is not as highly projected as he was before.
That'll do it, huh?
Thanks, boss.
Okay. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit confused by that.
You and me both.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I don't have any interest in Danilo Gallinari if he's 30% owned on DK.
That is insane ownership.
I don't think I would have him at all. So it's even more crazy.
Yeah. The wild thing to me is, I get that he's cheap, but what's the range of outcomes for him? Like 20 to 40 fantasy points?
For real, yeah. He hasn't been very good this year.
He's never been, though, like a high upside producer. So, yeah, that's it. What about anything else? I just want to make sure we cover everything, but Adams or
I don't mind Shea on DK at 6,200. Adams and Shea both look like guys that would show up in 5 to 10% of my lineups on FanDuel. Adams getting a little bit of love there, 21%. I don't totally agree with that. But I really just find this game unappealing. I don't have a single bull. Zilch. Nada. Nothing.
Like 0% of 0 bulls.
I will have 0% bulls today on FanDuel. Barring anybody getting ruled out in the next minute or two. Like Levine gets scratched, and I'm sure I end up with someone. But yeah, I will have 0.
It's amazing how many guys Boylan is listing as questionable now.
They're all listed as probable.
Yeah, Carter, Gafford, Felicio, Porter's out. Hutchison, he's out. Satoransky, Chris Dunn, Denzel Valentine. This is Zach LaVine, Arcidiacono.
My wife now sees the tweets and is liking all of the good ones from everybody. Josh looks like he's the first one to get his taxes done. Josh looks like he sleeps in a car bed and giggles every time he hears a curse word.
What movie's that from?
One
of the best comedies ever, The Car Bed.
Boy.
There it is. Nick Swartzen.
So good.
Those are pretty good, though.
He looks like someone in a movie about an adult going undercover back to a high school. These are all just like the most recent likes in my activity feed, all from my wife.
That's great.
Thanks, wife.
You're Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street.
Great.
Jonah Hill. They are good.
Can I be Channing Tatum instead?
Well, that wouldn't have made sense because of the joke. Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have hit you with Jonah Hill.
He's skinny Jonah Hill at least.
Yeah, he was pretty thin in that.
Anyway, we got a lot of more games.
I mentioned to you earlier that the only thing I would have maybe tepid interest in if everyone in Detroit was healthy would have been Valentine, because I could see him playing extended minutes, another 26, 27 minutes. Yeah. Boylan's been giving him a lot more run. Hutchinson's ruled out. But it's just not necessary now that all this value is opening up in Detroit. So that's all I would have had. Memphis, Miami. The Memphis Grizzlies I know they're playing at home, but this line's down to 3.5, Josh. That's weird. Just Throwing it out there. That's kind of weird.
It is.
Yeah. Heat giving him only 3.5 points, 217.5 total. They have a 110.5 implied, 107 for Memphis. 3.5 points for a good Heat team. I know they haven't played nearly as well away from home. I get that before anyone wants to point that out. But that's kind of strange. If this game is competitive, there could be quite a bit of fantasy value.
Yeah, none of that value exists on the Memphis side for me.
Correct.
I have zero interest in anyone. Clear across the board. Not a single Memphis Grizzly will be involved in my player pool on FanDuel. So if they go crazy, just assume I don't have any money. On DraftKings, though, I love Jimmy Butler. He's one of my favorite plays of the day. I listed him as my favorite GPP play on our strategy syllabus. I have absolutely no issue getting to Bam. He is way more appealing on DraftKings at 8,200, but I will have him on both sites. You can talk me into Derek Jones for sure. I'm a little surprised he's not getting more love. He hasn't even been as good as I expect him to be, but 28 minutes, 4,100 on FanDuel at a position that's really easy to pay down for. Sign me up there. And you could rotate through guys like Nunn, Hero, Robinson. I think that's reasonable. They're just not guys I'm going to have a lot of. I am pretty down on Kendrick Nunn today.
First of all, Kelly Olynyk, neither of us can ever get this guy right, but when he does, like there are games where Kelly Olynyk comes out and actually puts up some solid numbers. How often that is yet to be seen. It's whenever I don't play him, but there are times where he gets 30 minutes. I'm putting him at, I think, 24.
Same.
Because every time I put him higher than that, I get way too much and it's just miserable. Right. But if I ended up with like small amounts of Olynyk against Memphis, it wouldn't bother me at all. I'd say the same for, like you said, rotating through a lot of these discounted guys. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, different positions, but both guys that are very capable of producing numbers across the board. I mean, do you know Bam Adebayo has triple doubles in 2 of his last 3 games?
I did not know that, actually.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. 5 straight double doubles, and two of the last 3 have been triple doubles. They played a bunch of overtime games, but I do not care. Like, Bam Adebayo is doing everything. Would you rather play him, or we get to it in the next game, Hassan Whiteside?
I would rather play Bam Adebayo, but it's not like there's a huge gap between these two guys.
Okay.
I'd like to play them both.
Yeah, I like both of them quite a bit.
But I would pick, if I had to play one lineup, I would pick Bam over Whiteside.
I still think on DraftKings, Bam is too cheap at 8,200.
I agree.
He's just been absurdly good. And it's hard to get away from that. 93 on FanDuel. He's power forward eligible. Would you go Bam or Porzingis? For me, this is very easy at a $500 difference.
I have them equal on FanDuel.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I still lean Bam here.
I'll be more likely to get to Bam because of the way that value is laying out today, just because I'll have additional money to pay up. But gotcha. I have them as equal plays. I have Jimmy Butler as my number 4 play on DraftKings today.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so well-rounded in the way he produces that it's hard to get away from him. I like Miami, and I'm with you that Kendrick Nunn is someone that's hard to get a ton of on DraftKings. He's $6,000, but I'm going to give him 33 minutes today, and hopefully he plays well. I'll probably get a little bit. Tyler Hero given around the same minutes. He's discounted. He's a volatile player, someone that relies entirely on scoring. So, you're either going to have big games or nothing at all from him. I'll ask you, as I did earlier, top options for Miami today, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, so FanDuel is going to be Butler, Derek Jones Jr., then Bam. On DraftKings, it's Butler, Bam, and then Derek Jones Jr.
And you got nothing from Memphis?
Nothing from Memphis.
Okay. I'm just checking to make sure there's nothing I'm missing on Memphis, because Jay Crowder's expected to play anyway, so you're not even going to really get any value. Yeah.
Full stop, no interest there.
That's it. Let's close it out. Phoenix, Portland. We'll turn it over to Live Before Lock next. Josh isn't going anywhere.
Nope.
He's hosting this one along with Chris Spags, taking you up till 7. Portland on the road against the Phoenix Suns. This game with a 228.5 total. Suns 1-point dogs at home. So both teams 114.8 implied for the Portland, 113.8 for Phoenix. Decent totals for both. I mentioned I like Whiteside quite a bit. I think he's still too cheap. We discussed his minutes this morning. I'm putting him at 32 with upside for more, but if this game's close and it's expected to be, he's been getting 32 plus minutes a game basically ever since the start of December. So I'm going to run with that. Damian Lillard, I don't like that his usage is 3% lower since Carmelo Anthony came to town, but the salary is reflecting that lack of production. So I'm cool there. Let's talk about Portland and close it out with Phoenix, because you had mentioned to me that the Phoenix players are all, I don't want to use the word necessarily overpriced, but they're definitely not underpriced today.
No, not at all. They're priced where they should be, which is no surprise. Right. Tyler Johnson is doubtful. I don't think that matters at all. If Booker is in, we're good to go. Kelly Oubre stands out as the best play for me. We have Frank Kaminsky at 25% ownership at 4,900 on FanDuel. I have no idea why that's happening.
That's insane.
I just don't get it. I don't have much interest in 16% owned Dario Saric either. Those are two guys that I probably won't have any of. Oubre would be my priority, and then I don't get the sense that I'll have Booker or Rubio. I'm just not really into the Phoenix side of this game.
You know, another thing too is I guess the ownership on, you said Kaminsky, right?
Correct. Kaminsky on FanDuel at 25.
Well, Baines had 5 fouls in each of his last 2 games. I would have to look at when they came, but it's possible that I think Baines sooner than later gets back to that 25, 26 minute role he was playing before the injury.
He should. He's good. Well, actually, I mean, he's not going to get back to that sooner than later, I don't think. DeAndre Ayton is looming.
Oh, right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good call. I didn't even think about that. In the event that Ayton wasn't playing, like Baines, put it this way, today, like, would you be shocked if Baines played 25 minutes?
Nope. I have him in for 22 right now, but I think that number should climb. And at some point in time, it's going to climb. Yeah.
And Diallo is getting DNP CDs, but I mean, I don't know. Kaminsky on FanDuel is 49. I get it. And Portland's not a good team around the rim, but neither really is Kaminsky.
Yeah.
So that's a tough spot.
Weird one.
I probably don't see myself getting to a ton of that. All right, let's close it out, Josh. Top options from this game. Is there anyone you really like? As I mentioned, I like Whiteside if he continues getting these minutes. I like him quite a bit.
So I have 4 guys that are basically the exact same, depending on how much money you have and what positions you're looking for. I think you can go either way. Whiteside, Lillard, McCollum, Kent Bazemore. Bet you didn't expect that 4th one.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I certainly didn't.
I like Bazemore for value. I can't really separate those other 3.
Wasn't aware you liked 3% usage players.
I do. That's my favorite thing.
All right. Well, you're hanging around for Live Before Lock. This has been the Deeper Dive. We appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Thanks to everyone who hit us with the super chats. It helps us out a lot. We greatly appreciate you guys donating to the cause so we can keep doing this. Hit that thumbs up before you head out. That's also appreciated. That's the simplest way to contribute and donate to Awesemo. Just hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and use that sign-up code Deeper Dive for 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus membership. This has been the Deeper Dive presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports.
All right. What's up, guys? Should be starting up now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the awesemo.com live before lock show. We'll be taking you through the day's 7-game slate, which has a lot of important news items that we are still waiting on. We will get throughout the course of this hour. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm Chris Spags, joined on Mondays by my pal, the Chubster Josh Engelman. How are you doing, you fresh-haired boy, you?
I'm doing great. Just got brutally assaulted with words for an hour, including my wife tagging in now and liking some of the tweets. So kudos to that. No, I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this slate. Much like Friday, I put a ton of time into it. So I'm hoping I can get a reward for all of my hard work.
Well, you know what, Josh? One place you can always get a reward for your hard work is fantasydraft.com because it is the official home of rake-free DFS. Right now, go to fantasydraft.com or download the Fantasy Draft app at the App Store. If you use the promo code AWESEMO, AWESEMO, you get yourself a free 7-day trial into the world of rake-free DFS. It is a place where all of the contest entry fees go right to the winner, so it puts money right back in your pocket. Josh, I know you're a man who doesn't like paying rake if you don't have to. Fantasy Draft, what has it done for you recently in terms of saving money?
It saved me quite a bit of it, actually. If I wasn't on 2 shows tonight, I would probably be playing there. I try to broaden my horizon of play on days where I don't have to be on a show and control anything else. It makes it really hard to balance, but I love playing there because I'll end up with more money in my balance than I would any other place. Full stop, no doubt about it. I'm just simply going to pay less out. And that's really all that I'm looking for here. The goal is to try to keep my money as long as I can. And the real goal is to, make more. And if you're playing on Fantasy Draft, you're going to have an easier time doing that.
Yep, it's definitely a better place to play for your bankroll. So go check them out right now at fantasydraft.com. Use that promo code AWESEMO. And already, super chat shout out David Moon giving us $5. Thanks for the info, guys. Turned 555 into 150 yesterday and wanted to share it. He only made $150 and he's sharing. So David Moon, you are a good man. We appreciate you very much. And congrats on the win and keep building, buddy.
Much obliged, my man. Congrats.
It's a full moon here tonight, huh?
Apparently.
Well, speaking of a full moon, I guess there are some guys who could become werewolves today, Josh. If they are in or out, we need to talk about the Pistons. I know you talked about it at great length in the last hour, but we're going to go right back to it because we need to figure out what we're doing here. Blake Griffin officially out. So that makes some plays a little bit safer, but Andre Drummond's status questionable. Apparently he's getting tried out for some new contact lenses, which may be inflaming his eyes. The eyes of Andre Drummond, such a big man, such delicate eyes. Who would have guessed it? But who are the beneficiaries right now for Blake Griffin being out rather? And let's presume that Andre ends up in there. So we're not maybe getting as much of a value for the guys who are directly backing him up.
Yeah. I think Christian Wood becomes viable now. There's potential for additional minutes. There's no real downside in his minutes. He's going to almost assuredly play every minute that Andre Drummond isn't on the floor. And as a 1.2 plus fantasy point per minute guy, I don't have an issue getting to Christian Wood. Markieff Morris is the biggest direct benefactor. I have him in for 26 minutes, 3,700 on FanDuel, 3,900 on DraftKings. That should be the guy that you're getting to most because of this news.
Yeah, Morris, to me, I think a very strong play at his price point on DraftKings in particular. To me, he looks really good. Had a decent game last time out when Griffin went out, started the second half without him in the game. So I'm comfortable going there. I mean, this pace-up spot against Washington is going to offer a lot of opportunity, and Griffin's usage hasn't been productive at all this year, but still 29% usage rate coming off the floor, a decent amount of ball handling time. So all these guys going to have more opportunity. I would also say Luke Kennard. I mean, he's going to be pretty chalky today. He's a decent value play. I think he would have been fine even if Griffin were in because of the pace, but I would say he benefits too. Which Pistons are you the most likely to land on, I guess, above the field? Because I also find Derrick Rose intriguing. People don't seem like they'll be going to him as much. I did get some Tony Snell, which is very much not something I want to do ever, but I'm doing it.
There are only 5 that I would have: Drummond, Rose, Kennard, Wood, and Morris. You can make a case for Bruce Brown, but I'm not like super wild about it. But those would be the 5 guys I would have. And I don't get the sense that I'll have much Luke Kennard on FanDuel. That's more of a DraftKings thing. But I love Rose on FanDuel.
Okay, yeah. Rose priced up on DK, but did shoot. He shot like a stupid amount of times last game, which I'm numbers escaping. But I think he shot over 20 times in like high 20s minutes last game. Yeah, 21 shot attempts in 27 minutes of court time, good for a 35% usage rate against Houston. And to me, the Houston matchup, I mean, you're basically talking about the same matchup as Washington in terms of pace, but just a much worse defense overall. So I'm pretty comfortable going back to Rose today, even on DraftKings, but I agree. The FanDuel price definitely looks a bit better. Also, quick shout out again, super chat from Brian West. We appreciate you, Brian. He says he appreciates all the hard work you guys do for us each and every day. Keep up the awesome work. Thanks, Brian. You're a good guy, and you are now officially on my good list, and you are not on my enemies list, which we compile every single day on this YouTube chat.
We do indeed.
Just like good old Dick Nixon, who's obviously an idol of many of ours. Yeah. I guess what other games are we talking about? Devin Booker, I guess, is the other main injury news item that we're waiting for right now. Yeah. Actually, let's talk about Drummond before we totally close the loop here, because that's an important part. We talked about it before we came on the air. I don't like tinkering too much with lineups while we do the show if I can avoid it. So I'm right now acting as though Drummond is playing, and if he gets ruled out last minute, it's going to be very frustrating. But how would you handle it for Drummond on FanDuel, I guess, in particular, where, we should still know before lock if he's going to go, but it definitely feels a little less comfortable on there.
You see his ownership?
No, I did not. Oh, it's got up on DraftKings. I see that.
Yeah, check it out on FanDuel.
Oh, okay. So he projects to be 59% owned on FanDuel. So what are you doing with Andre Drummond at 59% ownership?
That's a great question. To be honest, I don't know. I assume I'm close to the field. I'm about to run my crunch now. Everything has just been sort of wonky. I assume that I'm close to the field. I don't get the sense that I'll be way over, but I honestly don't know right now. When I look at it, he's very clearly my top center. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that I get to 80 or 90, at which point I am going to need some Tums, because I'm going to have to run a backup crunch on the off chance he gets ruled out at like 655.
And I guess the one upside, and it's not quite the same equation on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, like there are some other center plays who I think are comparably appealing. Like you do have Siakam, who you can play at center. He's got dual position eligibility, but even just straight center guys like Bam Adebayo, who's had, I know Laffy talked to you about this right on the last show before us on the deeper dive, but triple doubles in 2 out of his last 3 games. He's actually gained quite a bit of opportunity from not having Dragic and Winslow out there too, as much as some of the other ball handlers have. And also, Whiteside's been a beast lately too, and his price hasn't really come up for it. He's had a couple of monster games recently, so I think there are ways to get away from it on DraftKings.
Out.
But... Oh, okay. Well, that's crap.
Let's do it, people.
All right, so now basically all the Christian Wood. Yeah, that seems like the first move to make.
All the Thon McCurr.
Are you actually going to be playing Thon McCurr, or just more of a theoretical?
Absolutely. Have to. There's no choice in the matter. This is ridiculous. Thank you to the Pistons, by the way. Thank you to Andre Drummond and your damn avocado eyes.
These avocado eyes of his are disastrous, but
these eyes aren't avocados.
So yeah, we do have Andre Drummond out now. So I guess let's completely wrap it up here. Now we've talked about the outcomes and dealt with them in live action. So Christian Wood, Thon McCurr now added to that list. Markieff Morris. Bruce Brown to me goes up too here, because he did pretty well rebounding last game without Drummond in there. Almost had a triple double actually for himself. So to me, every Piston who's in the rotation is playable now.
Yeah. So at the minimum, Christian Wood and Thon Maker are going to need to split 48 minutes at center. I guess Markieff Morris can play a little bit of the 5 against Washington, considering Washington isn't exactly trotting out a bunch of centers. But at the same time here, kind of just got to play all of these dudes. There's too many minutes to go around. If I give Christian Wood anything more than 24 minutes, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. This is going to be bonkers. I'm giving Markieff Morris 30, again, because I don't need to give him much more without him flying off the page. I still have 16 minutes left over. Who the hell are they dusting off tonight? Good God.
Who is, I guess... How many Pistons is too many in a lineup now? Because to me, 5 looks okay based upon these are 2 really big absences, and I think that's the thing too. Not only in the pace up in a really good defensive spot, but also like there's just so much opportunity left behind with the rebounds and the usage that both those guys leave behind collectively.
Probably 4 is where I would want to be. Markieff Morris, Christian Wood, Thon. It's see the issue with Thon is that he's the flat minimum, and you're only needing you can get there on Wood and Thon pretty easily. I would say 4 would be the most that I'd be looking for.
Yeah, to me, the core 4 seem like it would be Rose, Kennard, Morris, Wood. But again, like Bruce Brown, I really don't mind Bruce Brown. I think maybe more than you do. And McCurry, as you mentioned, the minimum price, $3K flat on DraftKings. I don't have an issue with it. But to me, I think 5 is what I'm going to go with as my max. But 4 seems more logical for sure. It's what a mess. So a lot of value there.
This is fun, man.
Who do you think this is going to make you more inclined to get? Because I would assume that this should also lead to Giannis's usage going up a bit as well.
Oh yeah, you're going to be able to get a lot more Giannis, a lot more James Harden. James Harden on DraftKings is now a thing. You should see the increased ownership to Russell Westbrook, to Bradley Beal. This is going to be I'm so excited to see our ownership projections. This is nuts, dude. Nuts.
This is definitely one of the bigger, I mean, obviously this happens a lot in basketball, but I think in terms of this season, this is probably one of the biggest, oh, wow, now everything is completely changed within this 5-minute interval here.
We haven't had one of these in a while.
No.
Where everything just goes tits up.
Yeah, it is very much. Also, EMAC pointing out to me, of course, your old pal, always on these streams over the weekend with Eddie. He's saying that Bam Adebayo, 2 of the triple doubles were in overtime. Apparently, they've had OT games. I don't know. The EMAC's got a long message here, but pointing out there were overtime games that may have helped Bam get there. I still think he's a fine enough play. I don't expect that Atlanta game to happen again, where you had 4 players on Miami over 50 fantasy points, but. Bam, I still think, maybe a little bit of an aberration there with the overtimes. All right. So I don't even know where to go here because the ownership's going to completely change.
Wherever you want, buddy. Wherever you want.
Let's talk about the Mavs because there is one Mav in particular on FanDuel who's going to be extra important, though. This is probably going to change his ownership a little bit, I would think, too. But Jalen Brunson picked up a lot of minutes in that second half when Luka was out with his ankle injury. Luka going to be out for a couple of weeks, it looks like, with that sprain. And Jalen Brunson, at the last run of ownership we had, projected for 84% ownership on FanDuel, where he is practically the minimum price. We did just get a run of ownership as well, so let me see what he's at now. Still at 87% in this most recent run, and oh boy. And a lot of the Pistons have taken jumps as well. So 87% Jalen Brunson. What are you doing with him on FanDuel?
I'm guessing I'm somewhere in that neighborhood, 70 to 80. I can't get away from it. The fact that he's 28% owned on DraftKings is crazy. Yeah, still 87%. So that's wild. I greatly prefer Christian Wood to Jalen Brunson. I greatly prefer Markieff Morris to Jalen Brunson. Let's just get that out of the way now. They are all very clearly the 3 best plays on FanDuel, and it is not close at all. But I'll take the 2 Pistons guys before I would take Brunson.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Brunson to me is an interesting play. I think it is kind of a gross matchup where I don't know what you expect from him, though. The fact that he did put up 38 fantasy points against the Heat, I think is some kind of cosign on his ability and the opportunity he's going to have. His usage took a pretty big jump. Assist upside obviously takes a big jump without Luka out there. So I don't mind Brunson on DK either. I think this situation with the Pistons definitely changes the equation a bit there. But still, a nice spot overall for Brunson. And on FanDuel, he just seems like kind of a necessary evil, even with this value opening up. I mean, at that price point, it's still really strong.
I don't like him on DraftKings.
At all?
No. I think that he is dramatically overowned.
Okay. I would agree he's overowned on the slate, especially with some of these guys opening up. But I don't know.
There's no reason to pay the going rate for him now that all this Pistons stuff just happened. You can just get to a different tier now.
Also, we got a super chat from Lunatic while we were talking. Can I have some love too? I want a hug. I lost yesterday. I stole my wife's credit card. So here. Well, the $5 are still good, whether they're from your wife's stolen credit card or not.
Don't worry. I'll give her that $5 back tomorrow.
Oh, are you implying you're having sex with that man's wife?
Yeah, I got jokes too, people.
Well, with that hair, I mean, any woman could be yours, one would think.
Exactly.
that Fabio-like locks of yours. Let's read through the premium Slack real fast, see if there are any good questions. Here's one related to the Pistons from Morgan Smith. Thon McCurr or Morris on DraftKings? It's got to be Morris.
It's Morris.
Yeah. McCurr definitely going to be less owned, but Morris, the opportunity is just much more reliable. Jordan Charles asking, with Wood being a lock and McCourt essentially up there too, is Brunson also a lock in the same lineup for you both? To me on FanDuel, to be clear, I wouldn't say these guys are all locks necessarily, but Wood and Brunson to me would be on FanDuel pretty close to that.
Yes. As much as anybody can be a lock in it, you're going to try to build cash lineups with Brunson, Morris, and Christian Wood. We'll start there. I expect to have at least 2 of those 3 in essentially every lineup I have, and probably all 3 in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Please stop saying McCurr, it's Maker. It's McCurr.
It's definitely McCurr.
Yeah.
They're so like amped up to get a mispronunciation. You were not right. And also caps locking it too. I think that's, take a lap, Paul. Take a lap.
This is nuts. Love it.
Yeah, I still have to paste everything in and see where this does, because we did get an ownership update and a projections update, by the way. If you are not an Osmo member, it is now no longer half off your first month. It is half off your first week. If you use the promo code live before lock, you still can do that right now at osmo.com/join. So check it out. We got a projections update 5 minutes ago. Ownership looks like it was also about 5 to 10 minutes ago. So everything is changing by the minute. So if you want that last minute data hot off of the digital presses, go check it out right now. Let me just paste in these projections. So Devin Booker, I guess, is the one last injury that we haven't hit on, which is kind of important. He's a game time decision too. Last time out, we saw a lot more usage for a lot of guys, as you would expect without Booker. Rubio thrived. Kaminsky thrived. Oubre had the opportunity, was out there 40 minutes, but didn't quite do much with it. And Mikal Bridges saw extended run too, picked up some peripherals. Are these guys even a factor for you at all now, given that we don't know Booker's status and there really isn't great value opened up by him anyway?
I didn't have much interest in anything from Phoenix at all. They'll probably open up a little bit to some weird dudes if Booker gets scratched, but for right now, I'm treating it as if they're not involved in this slate.
And you in particular, I feel like you found Kaminsky's ownership particularly objectionable, right?
I did. I assume it came down in a really dramatic way at this point. He's at 15% now. I still think that's too high, but it's at least reasonable.
Yeah, Kaminsky, I think Kaminsky makes a lot more sense if Booker's out, because he did pick up pretty good usage, had 20 shot attempts in that game. Like, to me, I think you need his scoring a bit more without Booker out there. But if Booker's in the mix, I think that's just like you're going to see Baines start to get more minutes. I think there's definitely a lot of ways that can go up. Yeah. Let's see. All right. I'm getting some messages about.
I am so excited to run a crunch.
I am intrigued too. Apparently the site's having some issues on the back end. Who else are you getting substantially? I know this is changing everything as we go, so you might not even have your crunches in, but are you running anything yet? And are you seeing anybody pop up more as a result of all the changes besides the guys we talked about?
I haven't run anything yet. I'm still just trying to dial this in. Based on all the news, I have the target score on FanDuel in a GPP set at 420, which is obviously fun for me. But normally it's at best 400, 405 as a max. I am at 420 right now. That's just monstrous. So going to be a wild one. Going to be really easy to pay up for people.
Yeah, I'm running a crunch with Osmo's projections and the usual 40% randomness that he has when he does the game plan videos. Again, another premium feature at osmo.com if you want to get in there at osmo.com/join. But he's getting a lot of Morris, getting a lot of Wood, getting a lot of Kennard, and getting more Bruce Brown than Derrick Rose. So that's what's coming up for me so far using Osmo's projections. But Bruce Brown definitely wasn't a guy I was getting any of before, and now he's taken a pretty appreciable jump up where I'm getting about 30% of him in this crunch I'm running. But also, guess how much Morris is coming up in this crunch?
80.
96.
Yeah.
And that's with 3 randoms too, or three changes in each lineup.
I only have this for FanDuel right now, but a minimum salary FanDuel player, or a 4K salaried player on FanDuel. I could use minimum though. A minimum, you need 37 fantasy points from a minimum salary player today. FYI.
So that makes Thon McCurr a little tougher.
I don't think that's true.
He's not getting a 37.
You want to bet?
You think Thon McCurr is getting to 30? Hold on, let me look at his stats real fast just so I can get a read.
I think
if he's hit 37,
I think he gets there 4.4% of the time.
All right. Thon McCurr, the last time that he got 37 fantasy points in a game, got 34 last year against Indiana, where he played 41 minutes in a game. Doesn't appear that he's ever gotten 37 in his fantasy career.
Will you give me 20-1 odds on it?
No, fuck that. I know. No, that's I'm not. I made a mistake giving somebody odds recently on something where I didn't have to give odds, and I never again. Because we went from no odds to now you want odds. Unfair.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever scored 37 fantasy points in his life.
Well, always the first time for everything.
He's due. He's definitely due.
Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I would take Snell over McCurr, honestly, if I really thought about it. Snell's been better this year, and he's taken advantage of when Griffin's been out or bad.
I would rather have McCurr.
All right.
What happens if Christian Wood picks up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of this game?
Like, does he still doesn't get ruined, but yeah, I guess McCurr would get more minutes than Snell would.
Right. Like, he pretty much has to play. There's a lot of upside in his number right now.
Sure. And the pace is there. I mean, look, this is really the perfect matchup for all these guys to be getting into, where you can kind of fall ass backwards into some rebounds, and just peripheral stats. Matt does stuff asks an interesting question. What's Thon McCurr's floor?
I don't know, 0. They play Sekou Doumbouya or something, and they don't run him out there. Markieff Morris plays the backup 5. No, Thon's floor is garbage, but that's okay at that price tag.
Justin Derbyshire gave us $5 on the super chat. No question or anything. We just wanted us to feel appreciated. So thank you, Justin. Let's slide that right into my old G string.
You gotta go.
Okay, Rick, relax, Rick.
This is a wild slate now.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what the final crunch I ran 500 lineups ended up with a lot of Morris, a lot of Wood, and Kennard is still going to be the number 3 that I got in this crunch. So Kyle Lowry, and I got more Bradley Beal as a result, which I think is interesting that it went there.
I'm about to click crunch right now. We'll see where that ends up. God, I can't stop getting Christian Wood now.
I don't have an issue with that. Like, honestly, he's so productive when he sees court time. It's just that the issue is when he doesn't see court time. And this matchup is like the perfect one. I mean, you're talking about the best center matchup, really. Like, if we're going by DVP numbers, which is one that I don't mind going at.
Oh, I'm expecting to have 100% Christian Wood.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see.
He's a power forward on FanDuel.
Oh, okay. That makes it even better, too. Yeah. That makes sense.
This is going to be just pretty staggering, I think.
All right. Well,
I love this slate now.
Yeah, feel free to chime in when you get some more data, because I feel like there will be some things that'll pop up that might be weird for you, unique for you, that might help out the people. Toronto, how are you feeling about them today? Because there are a couple guys who should benefit from the ongoing absence of Fred VanVleet. Kyle Lowry hasn't quite had a big day without VanVleet, but he does project pretty well for Osmo across all the sites. Siakam had a monster day last time out, over 60 fantasy points. Powell's been in the mix. Anunoby, to me, grades out pretty well. I think people may be afraid because his minutes were down last game, but that was due to foul trouble. He got the quick hook because he had 3 fouls in the first half. But what are you getting out of Toronto? And are you above the field on anybody in an appreciable way?
Let me take a look here. From a Toronto side, now that everything's changed a little bit, really like Kyle Lowry at 7,700 on DraftKings. I think he is pretty clearly the best play on DK. You can flip a coin on Norm Powell and Pascal Siakam. Siakam obviously easier to get to now. I would say a similar story with regards to those guys from FanDuel as well. But Lowry on DraftKings is my clear favorite piece of this.
Yeah, I like Lowry quite a bit. The price being up just kind of freaks me out because he really hasn't been there in this most recent run without VanVleet. And I know that's not a reason to jump off the train, but it does feel like his ownership his ownership hasn't come up. So I guess that is one positive that I don't mind him as much, but he projects really well. I feel like I'm kind of get paused when he's almost at 8K and he hasn't really proven that he's worth that 8K price point yet in terms of his actual performance.
Yeah. So like, I think he's properly owned today as well. So you're not getting any sort of fun edge with that ownership.
Yeah, that's where I would land with it too. But certainly a day where you can get to him fairly easily. So, no one's
off limits now. Everybody's in play.
Would you be inclined to take a spin with something like a Giannis Harden lineup right now, given the value out there? Is that something you might target if you were somebody, let's say, building in general?
I'm sure it's easy to get to. I don't know how often that's actually going to show up, but I mean, I guess I could probably. I'm not going to have time to actually run that crunch, but I don't have any. Like, if you can start to build that with, 3 of the Pistons guys, I'd at least give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to certainly consider that. And that's definitely, I mean, we are now very heavily heading towards a stars and scrubs kind of situation for this slate, but also one where, I mean, these are not crappy scrubs. Like, you're not getting these minimum price guys you're kind of hoping can get there because they're filling in. Like, there's just so much opportunity for all these guys and kind of an ideal matchup. So I don't know. I really find it hard to not just load up on Pistons and see what you get just around them, but we'll see how it goes. I want to talk to you about Houston a little bit here because this matchup between Houston and San Antonio, highest combined total on the slate, 233 combined points in this one. San Antonio's defense pretty bad. Houston's defense, not great either, but definitely the pace is more the thing for them. And we talked a little bit about Harden. I mean, Harden doesn't project insanely well for me, but any competitive game, the usage has been there. He's averaging almost 40 points a game, which just absurd. And real life points, to be clear, not fantasy points. And the Spurs, I think, get a little bit weirder with Murray back as a starter. You're going to see probably less usage and less rebounding upside for Aldridge and DeRozan, but I still like Murray quite a bit, getting more secure run. I still like DeRozan and Aldridge because of the scoring you need in this spot. Are you getting any of this game or anybody an appreciable amount? I feel like maybe just PJ Tucker might be your guy on the Rockets.
So at this point, I find PJ Tucker less interesting now that you don't.
Because of all the value.
Right. So he's less appealing to me. Harden is now my favorite play on DraftKings from the Rockets.
Are you getting any Spurs?
No, I will not have a single San Antonio Spur tonight.
Interesting. Okay. I'm still big on Murray. I think his price works, and I think he has shown the ability to pick up some more minutes. So I'm willing to go there, I guess, more than you are. But I still don't mind DeRozan and Aldridge because the pace up spot's good enough. I think they're just priced for not starting alongside Murray. And Murray, the usage is pretty high for him, and the rebound rate's pretty high for him. So he just takes enough off the table for those guys where DeRozan in particular, at his elevated price point, it kind of scares me off a little bit. Let's see. Mac Motivation giving us a $30 super chat. This is for a new hat for Josh. Thanks for all the help, fellas.
Fantastic.
It's just unnerving that fine folks out there have to see your nude head shredding about. Mike Gibbons, another super chat. Thank you, Mike, saying Bam or DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge and Butler for FanDuel cash.
Run that off again.
Bam and DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge and Butler.
Neither. You shouldn't be playing DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge in cash.
I would be closer to the Butler and Aldridge side, but
go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, the ownership is on those guys today, so I would say that's probably not the best situation for them, but still, decent floors. So I don't mind that overall. Let's go here. Oh, good. All right, going back to the premium Slack to see what the questions are. Better cash play today, Giannis or Westbrook? Very much Giannis for me.
Yes, agreed.
Is Adams on FanDuel a good play today?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just hop back to it now so I could take a peek at it again because he was sort of appealing before. He was getting some ownership. It's, I think, a very reasonable amount of ownership at 7K. He's my second favorite center behind Whiteside.
Okay. Yeah. Not getting Adams on DK, but it might be a different equation there. Carlos EBK asking, how does the Pistons news affect Wizards players? Do you guys like them more now? To me, the issue really with the Washington side is that the prices aren't that great. I don't have an issue with Troy Brown. I don't have an issue with Bertans. Those minutes have come down enough where actually he's not projecting as well. These guys don't get more appealing to me, but I certainly don't hate them. Mahinmi, though, might be a little bit less appealing, I think.
I would agree that Mahinmi is less appealing. Doesn't change my outlook on anybody from Washington.
Yeah, I just think with Mahinmi, it seems unlikely that he's going to need to play extended minutes like he may have if you had Drummond out there. But still not a terrible play. And if anything, it's an easier matchup now for him. Like Wood's a good guy inside, but he's not really going to keep people off the boards. So maybe that gives some reason to have some reason to go to Mahinmi, but I just don't think the minutes are very secure now, because why wouldn't you go small at this point? Just go to Bertans at the 5. The Bertans could benefit, I would think, a little.
I went through Bertans with like a fine-tooth comb earlier, and I still can't get to him. And I gave him dramatic bumps to his rates.
Interesting. I like Bertans whenever I can land there. It does seem like he finds ways to earn minutes, and he just guns from 3. Like Duncan Robinson and Bertans are 2 guys I think people do sleep on in positive matchups where the defense isn't good, because Bertans is shooting 9 times a game. That's about what Duncan Robinson is too. So I actually don't mind Duncan Robinson's stupid price today. And Bertans kind of the same thing, because if these guys heat up, like they have monster upside.
Dude just shoots the lights out constantly.
Yeah, and
it's staggering this year.
In a game too where you just don't need to have Mahinmi out there, I think that's sort of the time where you can really earn minutes. And like it wouldn't shock me if you got crazy one. Obviously Rui's going to benefit too, but just not quite as dynamic of a scorer as Bertans, because when Bertans gets on a heater, like he is not only going to shoot well, but he's going to keep shooting like relentlessly, like the ball hog in your pickup games. That's where Bertans goes.
He was in Zach Lowe's most recent 10 things column about like how just ridiculous his shooting is, and one of the clips that Zach used to show him was Kawhi scrambling like crazy to get out on it. And like if Kawhi Leonard is the one busting his ass to get out on that shot, that how good of a shot that is and how bad they don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I love that column too. We've talked about it a couple of times here, but Zach Lowe's column, if you are a person who does play DFS, certainly the data is going to guide you the most, but there are some little wrinkles in there sometimes that'll give you, and things that are forward looking too, like Jonathan Isaac, I think is the guy who he caught on to really early in the preseason, was talking about how they wanted to use him different ways. And we've seen Isaac tap into that upside a bit. I think that column is always good for at least 1 or 2 nuggets like that. Got a bunch of premium Slack questions here. Does this news mean we could remove the group of either McCurr and Wood?
Depends how much you're getting them together. I don't have a problem with it because of the prices. Thon McCurr is the flat minimum. I also don't think he's like a crazy good play. He's just a solid play. I'd be cognizant of how much. So you're going to need 34 and 40. You're going to need 74 from the 2 of them on DK. Do with that what you will.
I mean, look, you said that McCurr was, I think you said the phrasing, a lock for 37 flat.
McCurr?
Yeah, you were like, he's easy 37 flat for Thon McCurr.
Nope.
He could walk out of bed and have 37 points today, I think was what you said. Real life points too, is what was the implication.
Slack's going crazy.
Yeah, Slack's giving us a lot of notifications. Also, for FanDuel GPP, is it better to run Siakam with Harden or Giannis with Harden? I don't think there's a lean either way. It's whatever money you have.
Yeah.
Price-wise, I would guess Siakam, but I would prefer Giannis over Harden overall.
Yeah, I would rather have. Wait, depends which site.
Well, he's asking for FanDuel, so I guess you would know this one better.
Yeah, I would rather have Harden than Giannis.
Okay.
But not like
DK,
those things are like big problems either way.
Yeah, on DK, I mean, Giannis is substantially cheaper. That's why. But yeah, he's asking for FanDuel. Let's see. I'm assuming it is a bad idea to play Wood and Morris in lineups, or does it not matter tonight? That shouldn't matter too much today.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that even in general, like these guys aren't really competing for minutes generally. Wood's been mostly Drummond's direct backup, and Morris is usually Griffin's. How do you guys feel about Rui versus Bertans on FanDuel? I guess we talked about this a little bit, but I would favor Bertans, I think, just because of the upside. Do you have a lean on that with Rui versus Bertans on FanDuel in particular?
It is Rui for me, but I'm not really fond of either guy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, to be clear, like, I don't view Bertans as any sort of, lock type play, even though we never really view anything through that prism. But I just think Bertans is a guy I'm a little more comfortable taking the tournament stabs on, but I really don't have an issue with either. Let's see. Any fade Morris on I guess on DraftKings, but I guess he's looking for a pivot to these guys, or if you were to go with McCurr and Galloway as the pivot, wouldn't Snell would be more the pivot to Morris, right? But that's not the most exciting one.
You shouldn't be pivoting from these people. You should be playing them. There is no pivot to Markieff Morris. He's the best play on the slate, or at least 2B or 1B or however the hell you're supposed to say that. Markieff Morris is the number one play on DraftKings. Christian Wood is 2. If you want to flip-flop those two guys, knock yourself out. But that is the only thing that's relevant. Don't pivot.
Yeah.
Just play them.
Yeah, I think that's about where I would stand with it too. Yeah, I mean, like for me, I'm basically, especially with how we're doing lineups during the show, like I'm really just treating a lot of these guys like I'm just going to have them and it's fine. And Morris is one of those guys where I just don't see why you wouldn't have him at this point. He shoots. It's a really great spot. You want to throw in some revenge too, you get that too. A little something for everybody here for Markieff Morris in this situation.
There you go. We just got an ownership update a minute ago, by the way.
All right, I'll pull that.
Christian Wood on DraftKings, 73% owned.
Is that a point where you get? Because to me, I'll still be over it, or at least I'll be with it. I think.
Well, I mean, that's not all that interesting considering he's 95 on FanDuel.
Does that change anything for you on there?
No, that's exactly what he should be.
So
I got 92% on 1,000 lineup crunch. I got to sort that down to 150. If he's not in 100, I'm baffled that there were 1 out of 80 lineups were better than that.
Mm-hmm. I like people sorry guys if the site's having issues. Apparently there's some database queries going on in the back end, but not something we can do as hosts of the show. We have literally nothing to do with that stuff, unfortunately. So sorry, I'm really empathetic, but if you're adding us, I can't literally, I just hit the computer and nothing will happen. Like a child playing with a toy that the parent pretends is actually doing something.
Brown, Kennard, Snell, Morris, McCurr. Starting lineup.
Wait, read it for me one more time. Sorry.
Brown, Kennard, Snell, Morris, McCurr.
Does that change anything for you now that Wood is? I mean, Wood's going to earn more minutes, I would think.
It doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah. Also, FC itself is apparently down. That's definitely something we have no control over. So
yeah,
that's sorry,
amazing
guys.
How people can say it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, try as we might. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to control everything in the world. Unfortunately, my weather machine not quite getting me there yet. But one day, Mr. Bond, one day. Let's see. Does this change? I feel like there's a lot of versions of the same question. People asking about FC. Can you play Morris, McCurr, and Wood on DK? I feel like we answered a different version of that, but yes, that's still also fine.
Sorry, I'm scrambling.
Favorite FanDuel power forward not named Wood for a GPP?
Bam Adebayo.
Oh, is he power forward on there? Yeah, that's a nice play. Let's see. Seth Curry, a nice pivot off of Brunson chalk on FanDuel. I'm not really buying into the Seth Curry as a pivot thing. I would be more inclined to think that that Wright would be the pivot for Curry, for Brunson, but he didn't really get minutes last game. I don't know if he's still 100%. So I don't know that there is a direct pivot off of Brunson chalk, but Josh, do you see one for Brunson chalk on FanDuel?
Nope. There is not one.
It seems hard to think that, I don't know, that Brunson's not going to get that run.
I'm changing my placeholder right now just in case this goes tits up for the next 18 minutes. I at least want to have a lineup that has a pulse.
Any thoughts on Barea tonight? I feel like we're now really focusing on the dumpster diving Mavs.
You should not be playing JJ Barea today. How much more value can you guys get?
People like to pivot to the lesser owned value, I guess. So yeah, I get it. But tonight,
don't do that.
For this particular spot, I would say this isn't Brad Wanamaker. I don't think that, not analogous to many of the other chalk plays. I feel like people might actually have a credible argument to think about that.
Oh man, this is nuts.
Do you have a favorite center for a FanDuel GPP tonight? And do you think that Kelly Olynyk is a play?
My favorite center tonight on FanDuel is Hassan Whiteside. I don't really find anybody all that exciting, but it's Whiteside.
I like Whiteside. Whiteside's he's been playing really well recently. I think that's, for whatever that's worth, but he's getting the minutes. The minutes seem pretty secure, and he's just been a monster inside and just keeps getting there every game. So I really have no issue with Whiteside on either site today. Let's see. Slack. Thon starting. Got that. Is there anyone that stacks up to Bam for a FanDuel GPP that can free up some cash? So is there anybody that you think has Bam's upside on FanDuel that would be a little bit cheaper?
Kristaps Porzingis is $500 cheaper.
Are you going with him tonight? Like, he's been 1.5 fantasy points per minute without Luka and a decent sample size, but the matchup really scares me with just nobody to take the pressure off them. I mean, besides Hardaway and Brunson, which is not the best pressure relief.
I'm guessing I'm north of the field on him. We shall see how that really shakes out.
Yeah, there we go. Shake it out, Josh.
There you go.
All right. Let's see. Going through lots of Slack questions today. Appreciate you guys, Slack. Lots of chats. Thoughts on Terrence Davis for the Raptors for a FanDuel GPP? Your boy of last week who didn't quite get there today, though. Any love?
No. Guys, what are we doing here? Stop playing garbage players for today's slate. You've been handed a gift on a silver platter. Play all of the guys that we know are fantastic values and play other people. Don't try to pivot off of amazing stuff to play garbage. You're passing up on high quality food to eat out of the trash can behind the restaurant.
I mean, that worked for Oscar DeGrouch. So I don't know why I said Oscar Doug Grouch like he's a rapper.
I live in a fucking trash can. Poor Sesame Street. Nobody's helping me.
One of Dave Chappelle's best bits.
I love it. Get a job, Grouch. Get it together, Grouch.
They're apparently introducing a new homeless character on Sesame Street. I saw today, and somebody replied, like, "What is Oscar the Grouch for all these years?"
Yeah.
Which just hurtful.
What the hell is his job?
he's just like he has some sort of lucrative industry. Maybe he's trading Bitcoin in the trash can. Favorite FanDuel point guard under 5K to pair with Brunson. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, there isn't one. I don't have a single 5K or below point guard on FanDuel in my player pool.
Yeah, it seems like you can go some other ways there, but yeah, I think the way to move would probably be just to take the savings elsewhere and not get too cute and pay up at the other point guard spot, I would think, or at least use some of your money. Let's see. Man, I like this Booker news. I feel like the Booker news is also kind of important.
Really, the only thing that's important is being able to crunch these lineups or export them or do something along those lines.
Yeah, I gotta finish out mine. Let's see here. All right, Slack questions. 150 max. Oh boy. So 150 max with Fantasy Cruncher down is the most optimal play to lock Wood, Morris, and either Brown or Rose. I don't know if he's asking like which of those two, but would you just lock those guys in if you're just trying to get your lineups in now?
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, never really advocate for locks, and I don't see how this would correlate to Fantasy Cruncher being down or up. But
you should still play the best lineups that you can find.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are going to be the best value, so they are probably going to come up a lot for you, regardless of whichever optimizer you're using or how your process is going to be. Let's see, did we miss any super chats? Just trying to keep track of all the chats, guys. There's been a lot of Pistons relevant questions. Go through some of the other games because there don't seem like there are any great chats right now. Miami players talk about Bam Adebayo, but I also mentioned that I'm intrigued by Duncan Robinson just because he shoots so many threes, and Memphis is going to be playing at pace and doesn't defend a three-pointer well at all, giving up over 37% shooting from deep. But anybody on Miami particularly interesting to you? You've talked about Butler, but I guess we could mention anybody we've already hit on.
So Fantasy Cruncher is not going to be up before lock per FC.
Ooh, all right. Not ideal. Of all the slates, not the one.
That is quite the understatement.
Good thing I ran that crunch. You just want me to send you my crunch that I ran with Awesome's projections?
I've got a dummy going right now, and I'm okay with my dummy.
Well, for what it's worth, since this is down right now, based on Osmo's runner projections, accounting for 40% randomness, the guys that I got the most in this order were Markieff Morris, Christian Wood, Luke Kennard, Kyle Lowry, Bradley Beal, Bruce Brown Jr., Pascal Siakam, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kristaps Porzingis, Damian Lillard, Derrick Rose, CJ McCollum, PJ Tucker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Whiteside, and then everybody else is under 15%. So you can fill it out from there, but that's the list of guys I got on DK. So if you're trying to make some lineups work, that's the one that came up the most with Awesome's projections. So
I'm trying
Sorry,
to
guys.
save myself in these next 12 minutes. We shall see how that works out. My guess is not well, but I'm going to try and save myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some of these lineups and just do them while we go. But we are keeping track on your questions as best we can. Let's see. Josh doesn't have and Brunson on FanDuel with. Oh, you don't have any Brunson on FanDuel with Rose?
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I have a ton of Brunson and Rose. They're my 2 highest owned point guards.
There you go. So that is not something that that Josh is avoiding today. So rest your weary heads. You guys are fine if you play those 2 together on FanDuel. No other good questions on here. Oh, talk about 0.1% owned Booker if he plays. Let me look at his price. I haven't really considered Booker today. I don't hate the matchup against Portland. Portland not great defensively. The pace is there. Booker, like a forearm injury, not something that gives me a ton of confidence. So I don't mind taking that stab. I think that's the thing. If he's going to be that lowly owned, he certainly has tournament winning upside, but not a play that I'm trying to make today because I just think there are other guys I'd rather spend that money with. But Josh, do you have any thoughts on playing Booker with the unknown and just him having potential upside that people aren't going to be on at all?
I don't like him even if he's in, so I'm safely out then.
I'm generally erring on the side of not playing him much when Rubio is active anyway, but I would say, particularly in this scenario, I don't think that I would be wanting much of him today.
Yeah, I didn't have much interest one way or the other.
All right, I gotta just put these lineups in.
This is a hell of a conundrum right now, and I do not know if I'm going to be able to save myself.
Yeah, I still have to finish a couple, so I need I think I might just put in the Pistons chalk plays and just put late guys so I can figure it out when we
tempted
finish.
To pack in this show right now.
It's not live until slightly before live. We got to go until the ship sinks. That's how it goes. I think everybody's having the same panic because we're not getting much great questions. How much of Rose, Kennard, Morris, Brown, Wood is too many, and any you wouldn't play together? We talked about this earlier. MC Grazia. I'm on the side of playing 5 of them is fine. Josh said 4 would be where he would prefer to go.
Yeah, I would draw the line in the sand at 4.
Yeah, I don't mind 5 at all because I think there's just so much usage that's opened up with all these guys that, to me, I think that there are ways that they can all get there fairly comfortably, particularly in this matchup where it's just a very nice matchup for all these gentlemen tonight. Lock 4 of 5. Yeah, it's like a shell game if you were to lock 4 out of those 5 guys, but that's might be the move right now with the timing being what it is. So how are you handling this right now?
Attempting to do other things while I have one dummy lineup in that I am not at all comfortable with, but am hoping ends up being something that finishes in the money. Best I can do right now.
Yeah, I need to get these ones in by hand now because that's going to not be ideal. But weird slate, guys. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage. But yeah, for me at this point with where my lineups are going, I am playing 5 Pistons, and they are Rose, Kennard, Morris, Wood, Brown, and I'm playing some of the other guys who I like in various price points around them. Because this, to me, just seems like the way I have to handle this right now. Christian locked 1 lineup 380 times. Maybe pivot off a couple guys while you have 8 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, that's I am playing a 150 lineup train in the $7 on FanDuel today as of right now.
It's going to be messed up when you win and you take all 150 top spots.
I'm going to puke on myself right now if I finish out of the money.
This has been a tough slate. This would have been a good Eddie slate in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I can't. It's really hard for me to participate right now. I'm more like, are you dying right now?
Yeah, no, I have to hand build like 5 lineups in the next 5 minutes. But I'm trying to just import them from Fantasy Cruncher. Basically, the way that I'm handling it, because I ran that crunch, and this is something that I do generally because of the shows. I'll run a crunch in the background during the day, like right before lock, ideally, just so I know what I'm doing to actually host the show. But also then if I have these things, I fortunately happen to run with Osmo's most recent run of projections during the show. But yeah, like it's not Not my ideal. Not my ideal. Anytime news changes in the last minute for me is far from ideal.
I bet.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, any concern for running back with a wizard? I have none. Like I have no concern. Rather, I do have wizards, but it's not
it's
a
just
thing
not
that I'm
something you
worried
need
about.
to do.
Yeah, that's where I would feel with it too. I don't think you have to do it on the slate. And on a 9-game slate in general, like you don't really need to game stack fully as you might think. Jesus. Though I did get more Bradley Beal just as a symptom of all this opening up. So that is something that I do feel like is worth noting for how my lineups were built. If you're trying to figure out without the various optimizers running for you guys right now.
FC just refreshed for me. Like FC proper. I have no idea if it has the crunch that I saved. If it does, and I can export it, I'm going to have a gigantic chub.
That's why you're the chubster. That's why you got that nickname in middle school.
It does not have it, unfortunately. So I need to hope that I can run this and export in the next 5 minutes, which is about as impossible as anything I've ever heard.
Anything that seems like a broad swath to be casting out there.
I mean, I don't think it is. It's
anything
not like
you've
it's
ever
cruising.
heard?
This feels like something more impossible than I've ever had to deal with.
Okay, but not anything that's ever existed in the world. Like building the pyramids, I'd say would be tougher.
Sure.
Okay. I just want to agree that building the pyramids is tougher.
Because I know that actually got done, and I don't think that this can get done.
Okay. That is a fair point then. Jesus. This is what a dumpster fire.
Oh, man.
Dumpster fire situation. These are the things they don't teach you about in DFS school, ladies and gentlemen. Unreal. I am dying. Just have to get a few more in. Going back to the premium Slack for questions, guys. We're trying to multitask as best we can. Rubio or Lowry? I think so. Lowry. Rubio, I would love if we knew that Booker wasn't going to be in, but we don't know that, so I'd go Lowry.
I would go Lowry as well.
Yeah. Kaminsky or Baines on DK? I have to say I have both equally because, again, I think Kaminsky is more valuable if Rubio is not in. Or excuse me, if Booker is not in. But I think Baines is a fine play otherwise, so I don't mind it. And Baines should benefit as well being close to the rim and having to deal with Whiteside.
Dude, this is the worst. I don't even want to check my phone. I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and cross my fingers.
Dame or Whiteside? No site given, which at this point, who cares? Whiteside for me.
Yeah, Whiteside.
All right. Holy crap. This, man, if all these Pistons go off, and I feel like I'll be very content with how this turns out. If none of these Pistons go off, or if one of the core 5 have a bad day, my lineups are boned, fully boned.
I think I'm just boned regardless. Oh, that doesn't have player names in it, does it? No. I gotta prepare for that in the future.
Beal or Dame on DK? I have more Beal right now, but I really have no issue with Lillard.
I would rather have Beal or Dame. Yep. I would rather have Beal.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same page there. Don't mind Dame, but I just think it's more of an advantageous spot for Beal today. All right. I think I got some crappy lineups in that'll do, pig. This is terrible. This is the worst combination for us as hosts. This is the worst combination of factors to not be going well.
I mean, I am at a loss for words right now. This should be really fun.
Thompson.
Maybe it'll work out great. I have no idea.
Hopefully. I hope so. I hope it works out well for everybody. This is just not optimal conditions today for a slate of these news and everything happening at 4 p.m. West Coast time, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Not ideal.
No.
Ben Thompson, do we only get 3/4 of freak again? Very possible, but 3/4 of Greek freak in this spot should be enough to make you happy, one would think.
Nothing's gonna make me happy today. I'm just gonna chill.
Have you thought at all that perhaps it's your exposed hair that's ruined the slate for everyone?
It certainly might be.
You're strutting around with your hair, flaunting it for all the boys, and now what's happened? Everything's gone to hell.
It has.
Flying squid from the sky.
Well, look, it's, this shit happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I have taken for granted my process and my backup plans until right now, and it failed. Failed aggressively.
That'll happen. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's for sure my fault.
Hey man, I actually had a crunch and I still just ran because I don't know what lineups I have are good and what lineups are bad right now. So I just took a couple and put them in my hand and then gave up. So I didn't do it right either. But these are the things Eddie does talk about this quite a bit sometimes, where you have to think about your backup plans and your all that stuff. And to Eddie's credit, he's mentioned that quite a bit on this show. And you're never fully prepared, especially when hosting a show. You're never
fingers
fully
crossed
prepared.
that my train cashes.
Yeah, if running a train hasn't ever worked for somebody, I've yet to hear it.
Didn't work for me. That's a different show.
Joe Mama saying Giannis, Whiteside, Kaminsky, or Butler, Adebayo, and Adams on DraftKings. I would favor the first half. One with Kaminsky.
It doesn't matter anymore.
It's for DK. It was for DK.
Lock is in 10 minutes.
1 minute.
10 seconds, I meant.
Yeah. Well, that was DK anyway, so there you go. Hopefully that helps. Whiteside and CJ or Beal and OG for DK GPP. This one won't matter, but Beal and OG I have more of. I could Beal
first
and OG.
one.
Yeah. All right. Well, who cares? Do you even want to do Daddy Likes?
Not in the least, man. Not in the least.
But will you do Daddy Likes?
I don't. What's the point?
People enjoy the ritual of it. We can do it fast. I'll just read them out. How about that?
Sure.
All right. I'm refreshing and we'll load it. The Josh depression hour has been tough.
It's not even depression. I don't have anything to say about the slate anymore. This is show number 3, and it went out with the opposite of a bang.
Oh, Anthony Davis also sent a super chat. Shout out Anthony Davis saying, Josh, go to Restore Crunch. Maybe that might have done something.
I'm super aware of how to use this.
I just wanted to read the super chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Fantasy Cruncher's exporting now, which is great.
Just in time. All right, I got the ownership. We'll do this fast. We'll make this as least painful on Josh as possible. But the good news, I mean, for everybody out there is if we were suffering with this, every player out there was suffering with this. So that'll be interesting. All right, the ownership has gotten up. So didn't quite get where we thought it would, perhaps because of some of the issues. But
wow. Dude,
Markieff, what?
It mattered for FanDuel. By a lot.
What, Drummond?
Christian Wood is 61% owned in the $7. Markieff Morris is 44% owned.
Okay.
I'm kind of bummed that I don't have this working, but I know that those numbers would have came up across the board, but they are in my placeholder. So where did Drummond end up? Did people just still have him? There's no way me to figure that out quickly.
Okay, I thought maybe you might have come. Okay. So Morris ended up in the big tournament on DK, the excellent eights today. Morris at 61%, Wood at 57%, Luke Kennard at 47%, Derrick Rose at 33%, Thon McCurr at 24%. See, to me, that's why I was willing to jump off McCurr. I'd rather have Bruce Brown at 23%. Bradley Beal now at 18%, so he went up quite a bit with these guys. Bertans also, I guess, didn't go up, but 8%. For him, Hachimura 5.4, Isaiah Thomas 3.8, Tony Snell, the Piston who is forgotten perhaps 3.6%, Langston Galloway under 3 as well, Mahinmi down under 3 as well, and Drummond 0.9% of people played themselves with Andre Drummond today, and 0.1% played themselves with Blake Griffin. So that's a lot of playing with themselves that have occurred for those people's lineups. Well, you know what, guys? When you're playing DFS, there are a lot of headaches that can come as part of that process. But one place you can take away all the headaches is not paying rake over at fantasydraft.com, because they're the official sponsor of the Live Before Lock show, as well as many of our other shows here on the Osmo YouTube. So go to fantasydraft.com right now and use that promo code Osmo for your free 7-day trial over there. All of the contest entry fees go right to the winners, and that's what's going to help you out quite a bit. So again, lots of issues will occur in your DFS process, but there are just less that occur when you're not paying rate to the DFS sites while those issues pop up. Let's go to fantasydraft.com right now.
I paid a lot more than rake today.
But you know what? What a transition though that was. We got to look at the bright side. Yeah, Sean Logan, Spags is the glass half full guy. Yep, it's all you can be, man. It's just got money. Got to do some showdown lineups for NFL. It's always good.
I'm just gonna go hide under the covers. Wasn't planning on hitting the old pipe tonight, but I feel a little different.
I think you earned it. I think we both earned it.
Something, man. I earned something.
What a roller coaster of emotions for you, getting roasted to the lows.
I loved this slate at 6:00. By 6:30, I was ready to dive out the window. Well, this is gonna be fun, guys. I got a hell of a lineup train going. If I bink this contest running the train, you'll never see me again.
William Davis, first time super chatting and didn't get answered. Sorry, William. I tried to scroll through and get all the ones as I was juggling everything as best I could, but unfortunately, if I missed you, my bad. But I'll remember your name. I won't remember your name, but just chime in and tell me that you super chatted before, and I'll totally believe you.
For real, kudos to Spags for holding this together while I fucking melted down on stream.
I hate multitasking too for the lineups, but I got mine in, and I tried the best to keep us both afloat, but it seemed like it was a lost cause in some of these spots.
We should have taken the stream down.
Hey, we got a job here. That's what we were always here for you guys, even when things go to crap. Shimmy Shimmy Coco Pop, great name. Took 4th place and 1,500 in an NFL tournament yesterday. So here's something to offset your fantasy cruncher issues. And mostly thanks for all these great videos. Thanks, Shimmy Shimmy Coco Pop. I love you and I love your name. And we appreciate all of you guys. So we appreciate all of you for sticking with us. Hopefully you guys made it out okay with your lineups. But regardless of what happens, we'll be back tomorrow doing this again. And in 25 minutes, we have a live before lock show for NFL, I think.
We do. I've got my lineup train on the screen right now. Derrick Rose, Jalen Brunson, Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, Troy Brown, Markieff Morris, Christian Wood, Kristaps Porzingis, Hassan Whiteside. That's the train I'm running in the $7 guys.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's Josh's lineup. So you can't steal it now, but if you see it running by you, you'll know that Josh is a happier boy than he feels like he will be right now. So it's all root for Josh, rooting for all you guys. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. We'll be back to you guys again tomorrow. Well, actually, tomorrow will be Fast Eddie and Chris Randone doing the Live Before Lock show. So watch them then, and watch EMAC and Nolan, I believe, coming up in 25 minutes here. And also check out the pinned tweet on the @Awesemo_com Twitter handle. You have a giveaway for the Monday Night Football Showdown tonight. Our second to last one of the year. So go check it out right now. Check out the pin tweet. If you want to win some free stuff from Awesemo, go to Awesemo_com on Twitter and check the pin tweet. And that's it. Josh, any parting words?
None that are appropriate for this stream.
Here's one good one to go out on. Ross K, at least your hair is fire, Josh. So there you go.
Yes, this is the equivalent of me getting roasted for an hour, but I don't get to go tell the jokes at the end. I just have to walk off in shame.
I believe in you. I believe all of us. I think we're going to have a great night. So we appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Good luck, everybody. For real. Good luck.